Alright, hey, Dave Knight here from 123daytrade.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I was able to capture 63 ticks on one trade, although I probably could have caught some more. We want to talk about the trade here and what I saw, and I kind of hinted, if you watched my last video, live chat, what I was waiting on. I was going to wait till mid-morning and then make a trade, although I could have come in a lot earlier. I just wanted to have a confirmation of a move before I entered today. So my sole trade was to go short at 9:37, so it'd be 10:30 my time. So I waited for mid-morning, and then I got involved in it at 68.74, and I exited when it came back up through the pivot point at 68.11. Right now I'm feeling pretty smart, or lucky. I would say I feel more lucky than smart right now. So let's look at the trade setup originally, and then where I got involved. Honestly, I believe that you could have got involved in this trade at 69.32, and as the market opens up at 8 o'clock, I assumed that we were going to move up from the way Friday was. I wanted to stay away from the early morning market, so the best way I know how to stay away from it is not even look at it and not trade it until I feel the right time. So here is your highest volume bar during the trading session coming in, BBVHVB as I like to call it, and here is your range of movement, or zone of control here, high above, low, short below, and here is a nice entry point right here at 69.32. You could have got involved in it. I wouldn't have recommended here since we were going up. I would have waited for it to come back down and up and then get into it right around this area. We have the lower high pattern that you're getting involved in. A lower high pattern with the zone of control makes a nice entry point. So this one I ended up going down 2p, and then it came back up and through, and this would have been your exit point of this trade. Trading 2, you'd have been able to catch a little bit more, but it definitely worth a 1p move, 2p, and then getting 1p, and then we had a re-entry point. Now I came in on the re-entry point. What I noticed is that we were having some difficulty right at this level, and then later on we saw this level. Let's see, this is when I got involved, I believe. No, that was, yeah, that was, here's my entry point right in here. This is what I saw, our 200 bar SMA cutting across prices. We're still making what I would consider a lower high pattern. So we have our highs up here, and then we have a retracement trade. Even though it retraces higher than all this, it's not higher than the level. And maybe the better way of looking at it is looking at it from a 5-minute chart standpoint, because that's what I was looking at to confirm entry today. So here we have here, and then we have this one, and then here's where I got involved in it, underneath all this level right here, and we traded it down towards the pivot using pivot point magnetism to carry the trade. Had a 10-tick stop. Now, if you would have carried it at 32, which would have been a really awesome trade to be able to catch it up here, and then hold the whole time, it would have been worth 121 ticks. I was able to get half of that, which I'm getting half of the middle. That's not a bad way of looking at a market that you're looking for a movement to come about. Although, if I was trading 2 contracts, I would have had one out here, and then I would hold the other at break even. And then if I would have held the other at break even, you notice that we never got back to 69.30 or anywhere near there until, well, basically until we busted through the pivot point. And this area right here would have been a great place to exit. Breaking back up through pivot strongly, showing here's 5 red bars coming together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above the 500, very close to touching 800 on the volume levels. So this was like warning, warning, Will Robinson. This right here was a 4P down move at that point from the 69.32. So the exit was, for me, was right in front of pivot. I didn't want to see it move above pivot because I didn't know what we would do above pivot. But I felt that if we got above pivot at this early of the game after cresting it, the odds of it getting above this level up here was high, and I didn't want to not take at least a 50 tick gain on the trade. So I felt as though we would get above the 200 bar right here, and I didn't want to give up an extra 20 ticks that I thought could have made the market. And then if it would have bottomed out here, I was thinking about re-entering at this level right in here and then running it down. But as you can tell, the market has not looked back since we made a low. Now it did make a low of about 15 ticks lower. It was at 60. I think it was 68.14 was the low previous, 68.13, somewhere in that area. And then we made a low of 67.97, and then we've looked up from there. So looking at a 15-minute chart, you can see that we got a bar that's trying to engulf the other bar here. So this would be what, a bullish engulfing bar right now almost, and that's a sign of a strong move that could go the other direction looking at 15 minutes. So I thought, I didn't know that we were going to move up here, but I thought if we get above pivot, if it wasn't strong above pivot, then I would have re-entered. I was looking at re-entering right here, below right here, and using a 10 tick stop, and I would have been able to, instead of having a 63 tick game, I might have had a 53 tick game, 52. But after we moved above this decidingly, I put myself to the sidelines, and that's where I'm going to stay at least until probably close 30. Most likely I'm going to be done on the trading day today. I'm going to take my gains and get closer to that 32,000 mark. I'm going to have a new account high now, sitting at 39.5270. So Combine, obviously, if you don't know, now I'm in the Combine at Top Step Trader. I need another about 110 ticks right now, 105 to about 107 ticks, honestly. So I need about a 100 tick move. That could be in 2 trading days. That could be in 3. It could take another week. Hopefully by the end of this week I will pass the Combine. Lord willing, the creek don't rise. I'll pass the Combine this week and move on to FTP. That's kind of the overall goal. As far as day count, I'm at day 6, the Combine, and God, I've lost count of how many times I took some time off, as you know, in May, the end of May from, I took about 2 weeks off, I guess it was altogether. Then I was revamping things, and now I'm back at it and looking to get into funded before the summer's out. Really, that's the overall goal right now, is to get into funded before summer. Basically, I like to get into funded before September right now. That's my overall goal at this point. So not worrying too much about each individual day, just trying to trade my strategy the best I can. Now you might notice my 97 tick chart, I've been toying around with how I want to view the market. So this is as little as I can. This is what I'll do sometimes when I'm looking at the 89 tick chart. I don't think I've ever talked about this very much, but what I'll do is I'll compress the charts, and this will give me a, basically gives me the same view as, say, a 15-minute chart for the most part, by slamming it all together, but it's still a tick chart. And so if I use the right mouse button and then just drop and drag, I can pull it out, as wide as I want to get it, really. And then I can come down and get it as skinny as, roughly as you see right now. So, and then I toyed with the idea of where I want to look at, how do I want to see the markets now? Do I want to see it like this? Do I want to see it like this? Now, how do I want to see? So I've been toying with this because I want to make sure that I don't miss, some kind of move in the middle. This gives me the ability, when I'm first looking at the market, this gives me the ability to look at it more from a bird's eye view as opposed to a mouse view down like this or an ant. I guess that'd be a better comparison, looking at it in an ant view here and looking at it from an eagle's viewpoint from this point. So making a little bit more sense for me, making better trading decisions overall. And I've been basically looking at it like this, and sometimes a little bit fatter, sometimes a little bit skinnier, depending upon what I want to look at. So I've been, I look at that. I don't know if you can see this volume right here. You see the volume get thicker. So occasionally, here's the volume getting thicker, here's the volume getting thinner. So, you can see it all get thin. I've looked at it from this level, and I've looked at it from not that way, like this. Let me see this thing go down one right in like this. So I've looked at like this a lot. So this is kind of where I normally am, and then I've been toying with it, getting a little bit skinnier so I could see more lines and make better trading decisions overall. That's kind of where I want to leave it today. This is Dave Knight here from 123daytrade.com. I hope you had a better day than me. Hope you caught that whole move. That was a nice move. I'm going to stand aside for the most of the day until probably the last 30 minutes of the trading session. I'm going to give it to the market participants from here. Look at the last 30 minutes, decide if I want to trade or not. On a good day, be able to catch another. Today, it would be able, a 1.5 P move could catch another 45 ticks to 30 to 45 ticks at the close today. So bracketing the trade, giving up maybe 10 ticks to be finishing at 53. Kind of what I'm thinking right now, to catch another 30 ticks that could pull me closer to the 100 tick gain today. So at this point, though, I want to stand aside and let the market do whatever it wants to do for now, and then look at it later in today. So that's it. I'm going to stop this video right here. Hopefully that helped you in how I'm looking at the markets a little bit better in this case. And I kind of talked about what I was looking for on, I think it was yesterday. I was looking for the market to top and then find a place that I felt confident in being a short. And where I went in short, it was about a 90% winning rate right there. So I was willing to take it. And the market had already moved a 1P move, and then I was coming in between 1P to 2P on my movement. Allowed the market to dictate the way I wanted to, and I wanted to wait for basically mid-morning, let the market kind of peter out on the upside for a while, and then take advantage of what I thought would be a nice downward move. And I really thought we were going to, ideally I wanted to see it get down to the 67 handle today. I still think we can get there, but I'm quite happy with the medium gain on the account, taking the middle away from the trade. In other words, last thing I want to say, one of the concepts I learned from Joe Ross many years ago is don't get in front of the shark, be the remora, be the pilot fish. Be happy with taking the crumbs away from the market when they're available. And it's not too shabby to be able to take away a 63 tick gain on any day. All right, that's it. God bless. Take care. I'll see you next video put together. Bye for now.